Hello. So it's been a little bit. I've been busy, but I'm back now. If you're new, hey, my name's Isabel or Issa, depending on whatever you want to call me, and I talk about books. Or at least I did before my huge hiatus. I just got really busy with school, with work, all of that. But I really missed making videos and talking to a camera, weirdly enough. So I decided to start small because there's a lot to catch up on. I wanted to try this thing called 4 for 4, very similar to the Wendy's meal 4 for 4, where I talk about 4 specific books from the past 4 months. So let's get into it. So I read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse at the start of the year in January. It's a fantasy that takes place in pre-colonial era and focuses on a wide cast of characters, including but not limited to priests, gods, pirates, all of the good stuff. Normally when I read books that have large cast of characters and multi-perspective chapters, you usually tend to have a specific person that you favor and you kind of skip through other people's chapters just to get to insert name of characters chapters. But the thing with this book is that I was so invested in each and every perspective that I did not mind every time we had to switch. It just meant that I would see them a little bit later, but I got to see someone else's really interesting story now. And I really found the setting super complex and super fascinating. It's quite unlike anything I've read before. I'm really glad this is a series because I really need to know more about everything that's going on because it ends in a very specific way. I don't even want to say too much about it. I just want to say read it. But definitely one of my favorite fantasies of the year so far, I have to say. So another book that I read in early 2021 was Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. It follows a teenage girl as she attends a pre-college program at a university. And in her first instances at this university, she notices a lot of strange occurrences and gets swept up in this secret society. I hesitate to call this an Arthurian retelling because it takes lore of Camelot, Arthur, Round Table, and creates it into something entirely new and entirely amazing, while also having these undertones of dark academia. It also felt at times a little Survivor-ish. There's a trial type of element to it. All the while there's a lot of great conversation about identity and heritage and how much that should mean and what that should mean to people. It's just this amazing package of mystery, fantasy, some romance, and it's just so good. I thought I was like in my I'm over YA phase, but no, I'm still here, and this book is one of the things that is firmly anchoring me here. I didn't know that it is the first in a series duology. All I know is there's going to be another book after this, and I was not prepared. I was like swiping through my Kindle and noticing that the reading progress meter was getting really close to like 96%, and I was like, but there's still so much going on, and I was panicking, and then I had to look up that it was going to be a multi-book type of deal. And I'm not mad about it, but it was an experience and I really would recommend it. If you like Arthurian type of stories like Once and Future or the Guinevere Deception, this would definitely be up your alley and I would highly recommend that you check it out. In March, I read A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. It's a YA fantasy, urban fantasy type of story following 4 teenagers as they are all investigating a series of murders that's been going around in Toronto and what eventually brings them all together. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the storytelling and the world building was not really it for me. I just got confused really easily. I have a pea brain, and so it was a little bit hard to keep track of a lot of seelie, unseelie lore, and on top of that also having that in a real world context in like downtown Toronto. All of that being said, Ashley Shuttleworth knows how to write some fucking character dynamics because the relationships that are built in this story, especially between like the main cast of characters, was so good for me that I completely disregarded the plot. It's a lot more nuanced than what I'm about to describe, but you've got bodyguard royalty dynamics, you've got enemies to lovers, you've got spunky detective, cynical bitch dynamic, and getting to see how each person perceives other people in this group was so fun. Although I really liked the premise of the plot, it fell a little flat for me, but again, the characters were just so good that I didn't care. It was just a fun ride, especially because that month was really rough. So having just a fun romp murder mystery type of thing was such a welcome experience. And then this month I read what is probably going to be one of my new all-time favorite comfort books, and it is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. It is a new adult contemporary following Grace Porter, who after graduating from her PhD goes to Vegas to celebrate and then wakes up married. I'll probably talk more about this in my wrap-up that I have planned. It's this beautiful story about not having everything figured out and how it's okay to explore your own universe sometimes. As someone who also has a lot of anxiety, is also at a very precarious time in their life, is about to graduate college, the feeling of always needing to have a next step. It was really something that I needed to read, especially now, and I will probably have more composed thoughts about it in my wrap-up, but it was just this beautiful story, also really funny, really realistic dialogue, and the cutest sapphic romance. I was clutching my heart the whole time, and I would highly recommend this book. It is quite like Honey, just sweet, slow, and full of love. Yeah, that is my 4 for 4. I'll probably start with shorter videos, but I have some things planned and I'm really excited to get back into this. So if you want to see more content, please let me know any types of things you'd be interested in seeing. You could subscribe if you want to, and yeah, goodbye.